pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training.
To make it a one-sided affair.
Tyson, did it surprise you that Deontay didn't want to say anything to you?
No, not really. What's he going to say? I think we've all had enough of his excuses, so it's probably the best thing he didn't speak, because then no one can ask him any questions about why he was saying all that stuff. So probably good idea, actually.
Are you disappointed in that? Were you kind of looking for answers yourself to some of the things you
No,
been saying?
I'm not looking. I'm not soul searching. You know, I'm good with everything. I'm very.
You didn't want, like, were you kind of maybe expecting an explanation?
No, I'm not interested. People say stuff when they're under immense pressure and they're mentally unwell. And they're in a fragile state, so, you know, and that's where I see Deontay Wilder at the moment.
Wow. Those are the words of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury as he was asked why Deontay Wilder didn't say anything. Was he surprised? And those were his explanations. It makes sense, you know, on a nonchalant level. On the way he approached it, he was like, no, I'm not soul searching. I'm not looking for anything. It's probably good that he didn't say anything. You know, I mean, what's he going to say? You know, obviously he didn't want to hear those things. He didn't want to hear what I had to say. And he's very mentally fragile and mentally unwell. Well, it did surprise me that he didn't, you know, he didn't say anything, you know, to support what his fans, what he later on signed off to or on later on in the year of last year, and really had last year crazy. But like, if you want to look at events and times, you have to really look at it. And this is how I chop it up. Last year was one of the strangest years that probably any of us will really imagine. And I don't mean for boxing, I mean for just the world in general. And I think that, you know, for a while, no one boxed, no one had fights. What, for at least that fight happened in late February. Then we had March. I'm not sure that I even seen anything in March. April, there was nothing. May, there was nothing. June, there was nothing. July, there was nothing. There was a lot of fight, like a lot of months we didn't even have fights. So the normal schedule, the normal life of everybody as we knew it changed. So those type of things, not saying they get a pass, but they're expected, because at the end of the day, people were tripping. Wilder just took his first loss. Then he dealt with all like the, you know, the corona stuff, and he, you know, he stayed quiet, and that ain't like him, you know, and then all the stuff started happening with these channels. And I think, you know, last year dealt mentally with a lot of people in their own way, I feel. And I'm not just talking about Wilder. I'm talking about the people that supported Wilder. I mean, what are they going to say? You know, for a while, for a few days after the fight, you seen those same channels saying, well, hey, I was surprised that Tyson Fury did what they were going to do. And then for a while, it appeared like they were okay with the idea that Tyson Fury, or they're starting to grasp the idea that Tyson Fury actually did what he said he was going to do. But then the more detached the world became and everybody came and closed, I think everybody started to really either imagine or look or searched to try to find something that made sense other than what they saw, based on images, based on propaganda, based on whatever they can use. And then that's when that whole thing spiraled out of control. But as of Tyson Fury that didn't bother him because he felt like something's wrong with Deontay Wilder. We knew he clearly wasn't the same guy. That loss changed him. I don't care what people say. You don't go from talking and spitting stuff like you Muhammad Ali or, or a brash, outspoken, black, rich, powerful man like he was to crickets. It just don't happen after the loss. I mean, because you're like, okay, well, man, what happened to you? Why are you so quiet? It's almost like something dramatic happens to a person and then they don't talk the same. They don't act the same. They don't react the same. They're different. They're quiet. Like, you ever seen someone like going through something and they really don't talk? Like somebody done died, you really don't get the joy or the reaction that you expect from them being around them. The interaction with being around them, and normally they're joking, they're laughing, they're happy, or they're brash, they're aggressive. You didn't get that. Now, I don't know about the inner circle of Wilder. They say, no, he's fine, he's this and that, but then he ain't showing everybody else, or he didn't show everybody, well, showing, because he's still acting the same way pretty much, that he was fine. And then when he wasn't talking, there were people that took advantage of the situation, like Lance Pugmire and people like that. Well, he's mentally unstable. Well, Lance had every right to say that based on the change of him going from 100 to 10 or 5. And it was just one of those things. So really looking back at everything, I think that Wilder now, based on what we heard him say in his Ellie Setback interview, it all makes sense. It was like, well, there's really not much to say. Like Tyson Fury said, there's really not much to say now. Yeah, we were disappointed because we thought we were going to hear it, but then the real truth came out. Like, there is nothing more to say about that. And, why are we going to give the satisfaction of possibly getting a defamation of character case in the meantime, regardless of what happens, because you can't take back something you said in public to that person. Tyson Fury said that he would never do that, but also Tyson Fury also said that he'll never fight him again either. So you don't want to take what Tyson Fury said for cash value, because he might turn around and then use those words against Deontay, regardless of what happened in the fight. And then don't let Deontay Wilder win. See, things change when they lose. And I want people to understand this, okay? Wilder felt it was best not to say anything because he knew he didn't have proof, just like he admitted. And it was a smart thing to do, because let's say he goes in there and he takes all this anger and all this animosity and all this feeling and he uses it in the ring and he wins. Well, had he said something, Tyson Fury just been defeated like him, he may start, I'm going to sue you. Then he may start his court case, and then it will be a totally different case. Why? Because it would be him stating that Deontay Wilder blasted his name, shamed his name, lied on him for defamation of character. And Tyson Fury would win. Why? Because all the shit that those channels put out again and again and again, when we were, again, damn near boarded up in our houses, couldn't go nowhere, didn't really want to go nowhere, scared to go places, and they made all that up, and then Deontay signed off on it. You can't erase media. You can try, but I mean, that's going to be hard to do, with so many places that has gone on record reporting Deontay Wilder feeling Tyson Fury cheated him. Okay, so at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, thinks he's just mentally unfit or unstable. And my counterpunch to that, we will see how mentally unstable he is or isn't. And if he isn't unstable, we'll see if he can use that. But we will see, because there will be a fight. The worst possible scenario is Wilder comes in like Oliver McCall, and we don't want that, but I doubt it. He's going to come in a raging beast, focused, and I hope to see one of the best fights of this installment between the two fighters. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of this video and Tyson Fury's reaction to Deontay Wilder's silence. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.